You've seen it 1,000 times, right? You're in a meeting, at a dinner party, pretty much any group chat, and there's always that one person who's, well, not saying much. They're just kind of listening. And we all immediately think we know their deal. But what if we're totally wrong? Today, we're going to pull that idea apart and look at what's really happening in the silence.
It's a question we've all probably asked ourselves. Maybe you've wondered about that quiet coworker, or a friend who hangs back. Or, hey, maybe you're that person, and you've spent your whole life feeling a little misunderstood. Why is it that in a world that never stops talking, some people just observe?
And there it is, the go-to label we slap on them. Quiet means shy, or maybe they're bored, or they just don't have anything to say. It's a really simple, easy box to put them in so we can all just move on. But you know what? It's almost always wrong.
So, okay, if we throw shyness out the window, what are we left with? To really get it, we have to look past the quiet exterior and dive into the pretty complex stuff that's happening inside their head when they choose to listen instead of talk.
So, on one hand, you have the myth, right? That their silence is just this empty space. It means they're shy, not interested, or have an empty brain. But the reality, whoa, it is so much more dynamic. Their mind is actually firing on all cylinders, actively processing the whole conversation. They're not just hearing the words, they're decoding the tone, they're feeling out the emotions, and they're tracing the lines of logic that connect everything. This brings us to a way better title for these folks. They're not just the quiet one. They are the active observer. See, it's not some kind of personality flaw. It's actually a really powerful and deliberate role they play in a conversation. And this is absolutely the key takeaway. Their silence isn't empty. It's not a void. It's a space that's buzzing with some serious mental activity. While other people are busy thinking about what they're going to say next, the observer is just absorbing the entire room. So what exactly are they picking up on? Well, let's break it down. First, sure, the spoken words. That's the easy part. But they're also tuning into the unspoken emotions. That tiny hesitation in someone's voice or that flash of doubt in their eyes. They're analyzing the logic, or maybe the lack of logic, in what's being said. And here's the big one. They are mapping out the group dynamics. Who's really in charge here? Who's trying to impress who? They see the entire chessboard of the interaction. Now, what's really fascinating is that this habit of deep observation isn't just a communication style. It's actually connected to a really profound and powerful character trait, one that's getting harder and harder to find in our noisy world. And that trait is called intellectual humility. This isn't just about being modest. It's about having the self-awareness to know that you don't have all the answers. It's the wisdom to listen first, to gather all the data you possibly can before you jump to a conclusion. In a world that loves the loudest voice in the room, intellectual humility is like a quiet superpower. It means you'd rather actually be right than just sound right. This also gives us a huge clue as to why they stay quiet so often. A lot of these deep listeners just can't stand surface-level chatter, small talk. They have zero interest in just adding to the noise. They're waiting for the conversation to go somewhere real, to get below the surface, where their observations can actually mean something. So how do we wrap this all up? That quiet person in the room, they are not checked out. In fact, they are probably the most checked-in person there. By saying less, they're giving themselves the mental space to see and hear and understand so much more than everyone else. And that quote just nails their secret weapon, doesn't it? We live in a world that celebrates the fast talker, the loud opinion, the person who always has a comeback. But maybe, just maybe, the real power, the true advantage, belongs to the person who knows how to truly listen. So the next time you're in a group, look for that quiet observer. They're not just listening to you, they are seeing everything.